Hello, everybody, and welcome back to CNET's live coverage from CES 2020. I'm Brian Cooley, CNET's editor-at-large. We got a whole lot of folks. Have you ever seen the stage this big? Those of you who've been veterans of watching, I mean, we had this huge stage built, and we were thinking, are we ever going to use this thing? Yeah, we're using it finally. Finally, so the marketing team is happy. They spent the money making it this big. We're about to talk about plant-based foods, and I want to start with the one that is the 10,000-pound gorilla here at CES, the announcement of Impossible Pork. Now, that happened here at CES already, and it was a major announcement, and they are the first and only, I think, official food partner here at CES. It starts to build this story that food is tech. That might have sounded kind of unappetizing and cold in the past. Not anymore. Food is tech is a fascinating, tasty story. How many of you here in the audience, first of all, have seen or looked at the stories, the videos about the Impossible Pork? Have you seen this thing? Okay, about half of you. Have any of you had it? They're sampling it here. Has anyone tried it yet? No, not yet. I believe they're out in front of the LVCC. So not this building, but the main building there, doing like 25,000 samples. So if you haven't seen that, you can check out our coverage on CNET. I took a taste test of that before they unveiled it, and it's a big story. But everyone's focused on the idea of ground beef patties, burgers, and ground pork now, and that's the whole Impossible Beyond story we've been talking about in 2019. There is so much more going on top of those great ideas in plant-based foods, and today we're going to take a look at some of them. So joining me on my left side are three plant-based rock star companies that you may not have heard of, but are, I think, some up-and-coming ones. We're going to go through them and talk about what they've got. We're going to taste it with some very particular CNET staff over here. Say hi to Lauren Abrar, who many of you know in the plant-based avenue lately, Alexandra, and then we got Nasser down on the far end there. So this is my CNET taste team. They're honest, they have good taste, and they'll let us know what it's like. I want to start now with our first of our foods that you probably don't know about. Monica Talbert joins us now from Van Cleave Seafood, but the brand is Wild Skinny Clean.
So this is our brand new product line, Wild Skinny Clean, and we have our plant-based, Simply Like shrimp, our crunchy coconut version.
And this is almost inconceivable. How do you make shrimp out of plants? What's in it?
The main ingredient is actually an ancient superfood called konjac root. And it is
konjac root.
Konjac root, yes.
Which is like, if we find it in the wild, what does it look like?
It looks like...
Don't say a root, because I know...
It does look like a root.
I'm guessing a root. Okay, here we are. We're taking a look at the preparation of it
It's
that
a
we did
little
earlier.
round, brown root. Almost kind of looks like a poop emoji.
So you almost would, and that makes it very relatable. Yes. All right, so here we are with some preparation that we did in the kitchens earlier. Okay, konjac root, another main ingredient. What else is in here holding it together?
We have vegetable starch, and
Okay.
we have paprika and
Okay.
vegan seasonings, and that's it for the actual shrimp. And then for the coating, we have gluten-free flour, which is very important, and also unrefined coconut flakes.
Oh, that's what I see on it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's taste it, guys. Let's check out some shrimp. So this is the Wild Skinny Clean brand. Van Cleave is the company. Where are you guys based?
Virginia.
What got the company into this?
Well, we've been in the seafood industry we've been making seafood for customers for about 20 years. And, you know, we noticed that plant-based is more than just a trend, it's a movement. It's almost a paradigm shift going on, and we wanted to be a part of that as a seafood company. And I really think...
Is it market-driven or is it some kind of conviction-driven? Both are good answers.
It's both. So I have to admit, first it was market-driven, but now I really see and am passionate about plant-based seafood being an agent of change for the industry and for the future of the oceans and sustainability. I almost think you can't talk about the sustainability for the oceans without talking about plant-based seafood.
It's such a huge volume.
Yes, and it's there to decrease the pressure that we're putting on these overfished species.
That's so interesting coming from a company that is a seafood company
That's right.
also and still.
But not all seafood is sustainable. The seafood that we have is 100% sustainable. It's wild and American caught.
Okay.
But the plant-based seafood, there's a role that plant-based seafood will play in the future of the sustainability of the oceans.
Okay,
and
so that's the story.
Yeah.
Now the taste. Lauren, I guess a couple mics we're going to hand around. What did you think?
I thought it was very crispy. You can really taste the coconut flakes, and I really just like the consistency of it. It kind of really does mimic what shrimp would kind of taste and feel like. So
yeah.
I really enjoyed it, yeah.
Alexander, what did you think of that?
It was really good. I love shrimp, like
You
real
do? Okay.
shrimp.
Because some folks don't like
So
seafood,
the
don't like
bar's
shrimp.
very high, and it was really good. It tastes like the texture is exactly what when you like bite into a shrimp or a deep fried shrimp. I kind of felt like that scene in The Good Place when Eleanor is like eating all those shrimps.
Yeah.
It was really good. I'm
It's
like
got-
excited to have the other one.
Because everyone knows shrimp has that essential sort of springiness to it when it's cooked. And what
Little
I'm
bit of
also
bounce.
intrigued by is how it, I don't know what the word is, how it kind of segments like shrimp meat in there. The actual,
It gives you that experience, that same shrimp experience when you bite into it.
the fiber looks like shrimp.
That's right.
That's very
That's that
interesting.
konjac root.
That's like the magic konjac.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to come back with some more taste reactions from the rest of our panel as we move on to our next delight here. Deborah Torres is here from Atlas Monroe. Hi, Deborah.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. You brought us something really interesting because we have heard about plant-based chicken products, for example, in the past. They're typically nuggets. They're typically kind of generic little discs of things, right? This is interesting. So what am I looking at here? What do you guys call this?
We call this our extra crispy fried chicken. It's plant-based. It's made out of wheat, like a wheat protein.
Yeah.
A lot of eclectic flavors in there. Can't wait for you guys to taste it.
Smells good. Anything tricky about preparing this? Let's say someone got this and they know how to make fried chicken. Does this go right in, or do you need to cook it a little differently?
Actually, it comes frozen, and then you would just put it in your deep fryer, your air fryer at 350. It's ready in about 5 minutes.
Okay, so you've just got to heat, and this sauce is to go with it, right?
Yes,
This
that's
is
our
you
bomb
guys.
honey mustard sauce.
Okay. What was the motivation that underlies Atlas Monroe? Why are you guys in this world?
Well, actually, my father was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes a few years ago. So my family and I, we went on a raw vegan diet for about 90 days, and we walked with him every day. And we got really hangry eating just salads and fruit salads and smoothies. And I just went to work in the kitchen experimenting with like plant flavors and textures and started making like raw lasagna, raw tacos, burgers, all kinds of stuff. After the 90 days, he was actually completely healed, and he still is to this day.
Really?
Yes. But we did return to eating cooked foods, and I kept experimenting, and now we have our famous fried chicken.
Tasty. Tasty.
Thank you.
Okay, Nasser, let's get you a mic. What do you think of Atlas Monroe fried chicken?
I mean, with the same regards to the shrimp, what surprised me with plant-based foods is the texture and how it matches the consistency to like actual chicken and shrimp. And with this fried chicken, pleasantly surprised. Like you close your eyes, you're eating like a regular piece of fried chicken. And overall, from the taste, to the texture, to the moisture,ness, that's the second thing that surprised me, especially with a piece of fried chicken and the oils.
Yeah.
10 to 10 matches it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Abrar, what do you think about this?
I think the first thing that struck me was that it looks just like a piece of regular fried chicken, which is really, really
Definitely
impressive.
on the outside, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. It really has that same texture and consistency when you kind of break it apart. But the seasoning and the spices are so good that you really, like, I took a bite and I thought maybe, okay, let me stop there, but I took a few more. So that's a big deal for me because I'm not really into plant-based food that much.
Well, thank you.
Now, what's interesting to me is it's like the color inside is like it's all dark meat, right?
That juicy dark meat, yeah.
Did you do that intentionally? Would you like to make it also look like white meat inside? Because I kind of expected it was going to be white meat inside, but I didn't know what to expect.
No. I think that a lot of plant-based chicken is that white breast kind of look. We
That's
wanted
what
to
the
go,
nuggets always are.
Yeah. We wanted something that's going to be juicy, more of the dark meat side.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Very good. The seasoning is killer, too.
Thank you.
Okay. That's Deborah Torres from Atlas Monroe. And when I come back with all you guys, I want to know what you got scheduled for 2020. So that'll be our lightning round when we're done. But now we got to have dessert. Isn't that the fun part? So, Alon Steinhardt is here from Eclipse Foods. And tell us what you guys have. What's your product?
Sure. So, here we go.
And here it comes.
Eclipse makes.
Speak of the devil. Viva's got the most enviable job here.
Thank you.
She
So
gets to
Eclipse
serve great
makes
ice cream.
plant-based dairy products
Yeah.
that are indistinguishable from their animal counterparts. We do that because we've created a milk from plants that functions like dairy milk. So in the same way that you'd make ice cream or cheese or sour cream, you can create dairy products using our milk. And the result is products with a taste, texture, functionality of conventional dairy.
Now, you're a tech guy, aren't you? Because you just said functionality.
Yeah, so I
Only tech guys say that. Food folks don't say functionality.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in alternative proteins for a few years now, and then before that was actually in software.
You're a former GFI Good Food Institute guy, you were saying.
That's right, yeah.
Which is a major think tank for where the plant-based revolution's going. How much did that inform as you moved into this?
A tremendous amount. So I was there helping run an incubator for the plant-based space. And basically looking at what are the opportunities within the plant-based market to really change our food system. And the platform for a dairy product that is indistinguishable from conventional dairy and therefore actually appeals to mainstream consumers was just a big hole in the market, and that's what we're doing at Eclipse.
And you said it's corn, oat, potato, cassava. Is that right?
That's right. So when we went to formulate our milk, we knew that if we wanted milk that actually functioned like conventional dairy milk, we would have to do something that was molecularly identical. And so that can't happen with just an oat milk or a soy milk or an almond milk. We actually had to take a blend of plants that would come together, interact with each other, with the oils, with the sugars, with the nutrients, to create a milk that is actually functional.
You are so not getting out of this building in one piece. This is so good. You're going to get mobbed for this. All right. Let's go back to Alexandra. Let's get back to you now. What do you think about this? We have two flavors here. We have a vanilla and chocolate, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
Well, they're both really good.
Which do you like best?
Okay, I like the chocolate the best. It's kind of like a dark chocolate, but we
Yeah.
all just agreed it's kind of like gelato. Like it's very thick, and
Yeah, it's very luxurious.
yeah,
right?
yeah, it's really fancy, but it's definitely really good. And then I also think it, like, you don't notice that it's not dairy. It's like still like melts in your mouth. It still tastes like ice cream. It still like satisfies like ice cream.
Lauren, let's get your take on it now. We went to you at the beginning. Now you're going to come back around the horn. What do you think?
Yes, okay, so one, if you didn't tell me that this was what it is, I would think it was regular ice cream, like no lie. And I might have broken a rule, but I added the fried chicken in there. I'm from
Wow.
so,
Wow.
and it was fire, so.
Soul food hacker.
I'm from Miami, so fried chicken is, you know, so. But yeah, so it's good.
Are you looking for a job in product innovation, maybe?
What?
You need an evangelist by any chance?
I was thinking product development.
Hey, yeah, so.
And by the way, we're not here blowing smoke. I mean, I brought these guys on from the team, say, just tell us what you think. We're not here promoting anything. So the stuff really is good. We're being honest about it, and any questions we do have about it. So now, what was the motivation? I think you mentioned, I mean, it's a sustainability story here, especially with your background coming out of GFI, but also how did your technology work in the past inform your interest in innovation?
Yeah, absolutely. So I come from like software tech. My co-founder was actually the head of product development at Hampton Creek Just.
Oh, yeah.
So he created Just Mayo, the cookies,
Egg,
the
yeah.
dressings. Yeah, he oversaw the team that did the egg.
Yeah.
And so when we came together, we said we have to use technology to actually give consumers exactly what they want, which is a product that has the taste, texture, functionality of the product that they're looking to replace. So for us, it was how do we use technology to create products that meet consumers where they are, and that's really how we're going to change the food system, is by offering products that require no sacrifice. So you mentioned it tastes just like dairy, it satisfies like dairy. That's the exact point, is zero sacrifice.
Okay, so the thing that I think is interesting is you come from a tech background, you're talking the tech walk, and then we've got Deborah here, who you developed it in your kitchen. Is that right? We're all imagining some big sterile white lab for all of this. Kitchen created. I find that so interesting that it is accessible as an industry to actually do this at a relatively modest scale as you're developing it, to use your own instincts and skills with food ingredients that are not some high-tech scientific thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's really, I think, surprising to a lot of people. We think everything comes out of a semiconductor factory, right, with conveyors and all that. When Van Cleve started working up your brand of Wild Skinny Clean, did you farm any of it out? Did you guys do it all in-house? Did you have partners?
We didn't have partners. I have an amazing product development manager who happens to be my mom.
All right, that's another home story. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And she's an absolute genius in the kitchen. And so it's creating a kitchen and not a lab.
I run across this as I cover these plant-based stories. It's like there's more often than not developed in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting angle. You don't find smartphones developed in someone's kitchen. There's no TV developed in someone's garage. I mean, there are garage stories, but this is a whole different thing. All right, lightning round, final round here as we come down. I'm going to start with you again, Elon, and come my way. I'm looking forward to what you guys are doing in 2020. Goals, aspirations, or any announcements? I'm going to start with you over there at Eclipse.
Absolutely. So we're taking a food service strategy very similar to how Impossible Foods went to market with the tastemakers in food. So we have launched already with Oddfellows in New York, Humphrey Slocum in San Francisco. We're actually launching with Mitchell's and Milk Bomb this Saturday. And that is what 2020 is going to look like. Tremendous amount of new accounts coming on, big names that you know. And really the vision for our ice cream, right, because this is a dairy platform and we can create any dairy product, but we're starting with ice cream. And the vision for that is that if every Burger King has an Impossible Whopper and every Carl's Jr. has a Beyond Star, they should certainly have a dairy-free option. And if they're going to have a dairy-free option, they should have one that actually tastes like dairy, functions like dairy, has no common allergens, and the price is right on it. So,
Deborah, what's coming up in the year ahead for you guys?
Well, you know, we really hope to break some more barriers. I don't know if you know this, but we were the first and only vegan company to be invited to the National Fried Chicken Festival.
Is that so?
Yes.
Very good.
And it was at this festival that we were named Best Fried Chicken out of all the real chicken by Time Magazine's Extra Crispy.
Really?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Very nice.
So we hope to really break more barriers this year. We were on Shark Tank. I don't know if you knew that, but we got slammed once that show aired, and we have a lot of distribution coming up. Right now we have our chicken in some restaurants nationwide, and so we'll be broadening that as well. We'll be going into distribution in grocery stores. It'll be a nice year for us. So
I noticed that some distribution can be fairly easy. The big name brand supermarket chains are tough, right? It's all or nothing with those guys.
Yes, you got to have the demand, and I think that we do. So
You got to make a lot of it before they're interested, right?
Yes.
They don't want to onesie-twosie their way around.
Exactly.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, now let's look at 2020 with Monica and see what's coming up now with Wild Skinny Clean. I think you've got some things to tell us.
Well, you can expect a lot more retail, and we're also going to be on a lot more restaurant menus.
Uh-huh.
And then also we're going to be blowing people's minds with our plant-based hickory brown sugar bacon that we're going to be wrapping around our plant-based shrimp.
Oh. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't have finished my shrimp.
Yeah.
I was going to do a wrap. We got any more shrimp back there? Bring one up. Okay, tell me what's in this bacon, because this is new. I didn't know about this.
Yes.
Okay.
So not the konjac root, but that's more soy-based.
Okay.
And that's what we're wrapping around our plant-based shrimp. We also have plant-based scallops.
And there it is cooking. If you're watching the stream or watching our screens, notice
Fries
it is
just
what
like
the Brits
bacon.
call a streaky bacon, which a lot of the other plant-based bacons are not. They're a solid texture.
And we're also working on a plant-based salmon. Hopefully,
Really?
yes. Hopefully we can debut that in 2020.
What will you use to get the pink color in salmon?
We're still working on it. I can't talk about it yet quite
That's
yet.
why I asked. Okay, guys, let's talk about some bacon. I want to get a quick reaction from everyone. Start with Nasser. What'd you think?
Well, I've never had bacon before, so it's pretty good. For bacon that I've never had, it's pretty good. And I think what everyone else mentioned is that the flavor in terms of the hickoryness and the sugar really just like takes over the piece of bacon. So I don't know if I'm going to start eating bacon soon, but if I did, this might lead the start to that.
Okay, Alexandra, what'd you think?
It was really good. I eat bacon, and I like really crispy bacon, and it tastes just like that. And it was
Barbara,
very
I'm holding
yummy.
you for last. I got to go to Lauren first. Lauren, what'd you think?
Yeah, so you know when your parents cook bacon in the morning and it like sizzles and it has that nice taste from being in the skillet, like that's what this tastes like a little bit. Like it just came out the skillet, but it has like this really nice honey kind of glaze to it that it kind of tastes like, even though it's not that. So it tastes good.
Well, normally this is not a compliment to say to a food, but it's real greasy,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
it,
hard
yeah,
to do
yeah.
with a plant-based thing. What's making these streaks of fat? What is that versus the red part? Is it all the same ingredient?
It's different ingredients.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're being pretty cagey,
I
aren't
am.
you? Yeah,
I
okay.
am.
All right.
I
got
am.
that.
I can't
Okay.
talk too much about it, but.
All right. Now I'm going to Abrar last for a very good reason. You did a very interesting piece about the positioning of impossible pork for a person who's Muslim.
Yes, I will say that when I wrote that piece, I was talking to a lot of my Muslim friends about how like there is this, plant-based pork option, and they were all like, once somebody figures out bacon, then it's game over. This was really good. And this was like, so I've never had pork bacon, but I've had turkey bacon. And so the consistency is pretty similar.
Right.
But I love the sweetness of this because I have a massive sweet tooth. So this seems like it'll be a huge game changer, but I will say like all my Muslim friends are like ground pork, whatever, bacon, that's what we want. So like that's pretty cool. This was really good.
Now you went through, and the piece that she wrote was really interesting, her reaction to Impossible Pork. It was a very big mental step for you, not just a dietary taste.
Absolutely.
Same thing here?
Yeah. So with the Impossible Pork, it was like I've never eaten pork before for religious reasons, so I had to be like, okay, I'm eating something labeled as pork, and this is really weird. Maybe because I've crossed that milestone, this was a little bit easier.
You're
It's a
an old
slippery
pork
slope,
veteran now.
yeah.
Yeah. Check you out. Really cool. I want to thank our panelists, and make sure you remember these names, obviously. We've got Monica Talbert here with Wild Skinny Clean. It's a Van Cleve seafood brand. Deborah Torres from Atlas Monroe is the name of that company with their fried chicken. Award-winning, apparently, fried chicken. That's good to know. And Alon Steinhardt down on the far end there, Eclipse Foods. What's the brand name of the ice cream? Eclipse.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's all
Eclipse.
branded as Eclipse.
Very good. And I want to thank my panel. I want to thank Nasser, Alexandra, Abrar, and Lauren. Let's give everybody a big hand. This is really fun. And by the way, make sure, if you haven't, if you're getting over to the LVCC, go see Impossible, because that obviously is the big food story here at CES. They're an official part of the show, and they're sampling a lot of Impossible pork, and they've done amazing work with that product. I think you'll find that really interesting as well, of course. So go there as well and make food tech part of your CES experience from here going forward. This is not the last time you'll see food at CES.